She meant to text her married lover about the usual room and the black dress, but sent it to me instead. When I followed 3 years of Black Friday lies back to their source, 2 marriages collapsed before she even made it home from her girl's trip. I was at my desk, exhausted but content, halfway through an end-of-quarter report when my phone buzzed twice. Back-to-back texts. It was from my fiancée, Rachel. She was supposed to be on a girls' trip in Nashville, meaning drunk brunches, neon cowboy hats, the usual escape from adulthood itinerary. She sent me photos earlier, mimosas, selfies with her friends, a hotel room with string lights. I glanced at the phone, expecting another picture. Instead, I saw this. Rachel, the usual room. Then, a second one. And bring that black dress. You know the one. At first, the words didn't land. My brain tried to protect me. Maybe this is about her friend? Maybe they have some inside joke. And then my phone buzzed again. This time, a text that ripped away every excuse. God, I can't stop thinking about what you did last time. My chest tightened as if someone pressed a fist into my ribs. I typed, me. That's cool. And hit send. Not what is this? Not who is this for? Not explain. Just a calm acknowledgement. Because I suddenly knew something she didn't. She had meant to send all of that to someone else. Someone who had a usual room and a black dress associated with my fiancé. I put my phone down. Sat perfectly still. I didn't feel anger or heartbreak. Just stillness. A strange, icy clarity. 3 years together. And suddenly, all the little cracks lined up. For 3 years, I believed Rachel. Believed her when she said she had trust issues. Believed her when she needed work trips every Black Friday weekend, supposedly for corporate retail forecasting despite being in HR. Believed her when she said the black dress she kept in a garment bag was for a girls' night tradition. But that dress always bothered me. It wasn't her style. It wasn't tagged on Instagram. It wasn't ever photographed. Now I understood why. I opened my laptop, fingers suddenly steady, and typed into the search bar, Black Friday hotel discounts, Nashville. I started digging. Hotel receipts, she said, were lost. Payment histories, she said her bank glitched on. A mysterious charge once labeled BLHDL that she claimed was a Black Friday shipping fee. Her location history, that she'd accidentally left on months ago, that showed visits to a hotel near the convention center. Every year. Same weekend. Same pattern. Same 48 hours she claimed to be working late and too exhausted to call. My stomach didn't drop. My heart didn't race. It was like reading a report about someone else's destruction. I pulled up the text thread again. 3 dots appeared. She was typing, then erased. Typing again. Erased. Then, Rachel. Baby. Rachel. Can you call me? I didn't answer. I needed time. Time to understand the scope of what she'd just exposed. I started following the thread backwards. Not emotionally. Not romantically. Forensically. I checked our phone bill and filtered by her number. Incoming. Outgoing. Unknown numbers. Blocked ones. There it was. A single number that popped up during every girl's trip. Every Black Friday work weekend. Every late shift. Every, I'm staying at Amy's tonight. A number she'd labeled office backup. Except it wasn't a landline. It was a personal mobile, registered in a different state. My pulse didn't even change. I dialed it. 1 ring. 2. A man's voice answered. Yeah. Silence on my end. Hello? Who's this? I hung up. Not because I was afraid, but because I didn't want him to know who I was. Not yet. Then I found the folder. On my cloud drive. Shared between us for wedding planning. A subfolder titled BF Receipts, which I always thought meant bridal fittings. Nope. It meant exactly what it looked like. Black Friday. Inside were reservations, duplicate PDFs, digital keys, photo snippets, 2 selfies cropped so the man's face was conveniently missing. She wasn't stupid. She just thought I was. The last file was a note titled Nashville Reminders. It was a checklist. Black dress. Usual room. Backup charger. Shower makeup kit. Don't forget ring. Ring. She brought her engagement ring to her cheating weekends. As a prop. A costume piece. I closed the folder. No tears came. No shaking hands. Just a slow, steady wave of resolve. Her final mistake that night. At 1:03 a.m., she finally broke. Rachel, did you get those texts? At 1:06 a.m. They were meant for Amy, not you. A lie. At 1:12 a.m. Babe, please answer. at 1:27 a.m. It's not what you think. And then the last one. Can we talk before I get home? Please. I didn't reply because I knew something she didn't. She wasn't going home to me. Not for a long time. Because by morning, I'd discover the missing piece, the one thing that tied her entire cheating timeline together. 2 marriages, 1 divorce, and 1 name that she could never hide again. And when she realized I knew all of it, her world collapsed faster than the lies she built it on that I didn't sleep that night. Not out of heartbreak. The heartbreak had burned itself out within the first hour. I stayed awake because I finally had the clarity to see the last 3 years for what they were. Not a relationship, a pattern. Around 4 a.m., after staring at the ceiling long enough for the shadows to change shape, I opened my laptop again. I wasn't done tracing things. If someone cheats once, it's a moment. If someone cheats annually on the exact same weekend with hotel records and a dress they never wear for you, that's a ritual. I searched every transaction from her last 3 Black Friday business trips. Every single one had the same hotel listed, not under her name, but charged through a generic payment processor. Easy to miss if you trusted her. But 3 receipts had a shared detail. The reservation was always made by someone named E. Callahan. Not her friend, not a coworker, not anyone she'd ever mentioned. The name scratched something in my memory, but I couldn't place it. I started digging. Reverse lookup, work directories, LinkedIn searches. Nothing at first. Then I found it. A directory for a company she used to work for before we met. A consulting firm where she lasted maybe 5 months. There he was. Ethan Callahan, senior director. Married. 2 kids. I felt a slow, cold understanding settle into me. This wasn't just infidelity. This was a long-standing affair with a married man who used the same hotel, same weekend, same dress, same excuse, every year. I opened one of her old emails. A thread I remembered because she had forwarded me something years ago from her old work account and forgot to remove the previous chain. And there it was. Thanks again for Nashville. E. Same time next year? R. Dated 2 years before we even got engaged. I leaned back in my chair. Same time next year. The phrase rattled inside my head. They'd turned cheating into a holiday tradition. 2 marriages, 1 cheating rhythm, and a black dress that tied it all together. By the time the morning sun came through the blinds, I knew I wasn't confronting her here. Not in our home. Not where she could manipulate the scene with tears and panic. I was done being the quiet, trusting man she built her lie around. I packed a single weekend bag, locked the apartment, and drove to my brother's place. I didn't text her, didn't call, didn't explain. Let her sit with the silence she'd earned. Around noon, my phone buzzed. Rachel, I'm coming home early. We need to talk. I ignored it. Another. Please answer. I'm scared. Not scared of losing me. Scared I'd found something. Then a call. Then another. Voicemails piling in. When she arrived home and realized I wasn't there, the messages changed tone. Where are you? Why is your overnight bag missing? We can fix this. It was one mistake. Just one. Lie. Then a voicemail where she dropped the facade completely. Please, please, please don't ruin my life. I swear it's not what it looks like. By evening, she switched tactics. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. A man's voice. Tense. Is this Rachel's fiancé, Ethan, her married lover, the man from the receipts? He let out a breath like he'd been punched. Look, he said, there's been a misunderstanding. Rachel is. I hung up. He called again. Then again. I listened to his third voicemail. Please don't contact my wife. I'm begging you. There it was. The confession without the word confession. The panic. The tone of a man who had much more to lose than I did. And the moment I truly understood. This wasn't about love. This wasn't about passion. This wasn't a romantic tragedy. This was a pattern of 2 people cheating on their respective partners every year under the same lie. A tradition built on betrayal. And I was done being part of it. That night, I gathered everything, screenshots, receipts, emails, texts, voicemail files, and organized it meticulously. Not out of revenge. Out of self-protection. When someone is this practiced at lying, you don't leave room for twisted narratives. By midnight, my entire folder was ready. And that was when I got the message that shifted everything. Rachel's sister. Call me ASAP. You need to know something about Ethan. It's not just you he's been lying to. I stared at the message, realizing the thread I'd been pulling on all day wasn't finished unraveling. Not even close. And the next part? I wasn't ready for it. But I was finally awake enough to face it. Update. Her sister, Lena, wasn't someone I talked to often. She liked me well enough, but she and Rachel weren't super close. Kind of a we love each other because we're family, but we don't really talk dynamic. So when she texted call me ASAP, I knew this wasn't random. I stepped outside my brother's apartment and called her. She picked up immediately. Are you alone? She asked. Yes. Good. Sit down. I sat on the cold cement steps. She took a breath and said the last thing I expected. Rachel isn't Ethan's only tradition. He's been doing this for years. With multiple women. I closed my eyes. Multiple. I repeated. Yes. And not just that. He lied to you. But he lied to her too. Her voice shook with a strange mixture of anger and guilt. She really thought she was the only one. She thought he was going to leave his wife one day. My jaw tightened. Is that what she told you? That's what she told all of us, Lena said. She showed me the messages once. He kept promising things, private dinners, trips, the whole fantasy. She was cheating, I said, my voice flat. It doesn't matter if she was also getting lied to. I know, she sighed. But you need to understand how deep this goes. Then she said something that made my chest go cold. Ethan's wife found out last month. I froze. What? His wife found the emails. The hotel receipts. Everything. They're separated now, and she's threatening to take the kids. I sat there, silent, because that explained his voicemail. The panic, the fear, the sudden need to explain. So, I said slowly, Rachel wasn't his only affair. She was just the longest-running one. Yes, a recurring affair, Lena replied. He rotates them. Holidays, business trips, Black Friday weekends. It's like he has a calendar. A sickening clarity washed over me. Rachel thought she was special. Rachel thought she had a connection. Rachel thought she had leverage. Rachel thought she was the exception. No, she was just part of a cycle. And she doesn't know? I asked. Not yet, Lena said quietly. She thinks she's the main one. She thinks she's irreplaceable. I let out a slow exhale. Then she added, she thought you'd never leave. She thought you'd always wait in the background while she figured herself out. She thought she had time. There it was. The arrogance. The entitlement. The third partner in our relationship. Do you want my advice? Lena asked. Yes. Leave. Not for revenge. Not for drama. Not to teach her a lesson. Leave because you deserve someone whose loyalty isn't rented by the weekend. I stared out at the quiet street. I'm already gone, I said. She exhaled in relief. Good. Do not come back. I thought that was the end of it. But then she said the final piece. Oh, and Ethan's wife? She's been trying to reach Rachel. She wants names, dates, proof. She wants everything. My blood went cold. You're telling me Rachel is about to be subpoenaed? Yes, Lena whispered. And she has no idea. I thanked her, hung up, stared at my phone. Then I saw 3 new notifications. Rachel, please, please come home. I'm begging you. Ethan, we need to handle this calmly. Don't escalate things. Unknown number. This is Mrs. Callahan. I believe you and I need to talk. There it was. 3 years of lies, unraveling in real time. Not just cheating, not just betrayal, but legal fallout. 2 marriages shaking at the foundation. A man scrambling to save his family. A fiancée scrambling to save her image. And a wife preparing to burn the entire system down. For the first time since the text message, I felt something close to fear. Because the truth was coming for all of us. And Rachel had no idea what was about to hit her. Final update. I met with Mrs. Callahan the next afternoon. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to destroy anyone. I just wanted the truth out of my life. But when she called again, calm, composed, terrifyingly controlled, I knew this wasn't a conversation I could ignore. We met in a quiet cafe near her attorney's office. She arrived in a blazer and zero makeup, with the posture of someone who had stopped crying weeks ago and replaced tears with strategy. Thank you for coming, she said as she sat down. Her tone wasn't warm. It wasn't angry. It was surgical. I nodded. She opened a folder and slid a few papers toward me without a word. Hotel receipts, dates, room numbers, charges. Ethan had been booking them under a corporate discount tied to a company card, but hiding it under travel codes that didn't match his actual trips. She had the entire timeline mapped out. I recognized half the dates immediately. Black Fridays, holiday weekends, 2 girls' trips. One emergency work conference. Your fiance's name? She asked quietly. Is it Rachel? I didn't answer. She didn't need me to. Her eyes softened, not with pity, but recognition. The recognition of someone who understands a wound because she has one exactly like it. Look, she said gently, I don't want to drag you into a custody battle. I don't want you in court if you don't want to be. I just need confirmation that what I found is real. For my children's sake. I took out my phone and played the voicemail Ethan had left me. His voice came through, frantic. Please don't contact my wife. I'm begging you. She closed her eyes. When she opened them, something in her expression eased. Not happiness, not relief, just validation. Thank you, she whispered. I stood up. I'm sorry, I said. She shook her head. No, I'm sorry you got dragged into his cycle. I hope you get out cleaner than I will. We parted without drama. I walked outside into cold sunlight, feeling a strange mixture of exhaustion and clarity. But the real storm was waiting for me at home. The final confrontation. When I returned to the apartment to gather the rest of my things, I found Rachel sitting on the hallway floor, knees pulled to her chest, mascara smeared down her face. She looked like she hadn't slept. When she saw me, she burst into tears instantly. Please, she whispered, voice trembling. Don't leave. I swear I'll fix everything. I didn't respond. I walked past her and unlocked the door. She followed me inside. I messed up. I know I messed up. But you don't understand. Ethan told me we had a future. He said he loved me. He said he'd leave his wife. He said. She stopped herself, realizing what she'd admitted. Her eyes widened in horror. I didn't mean that the way it sounded. It sounded exactly the way it is, I said calmly. She shook her head violently. No, no, no. Please, just talk to me like before. Yell at me, curse at me, get mad. Just don't be this quiet. Silence always scared her more than anger. I packed my shirts into a suitcase without rushing, folded everything neatly, took my time. Rachel kept talking, the words spilling out in panic-driven waves. He said I was special. He said I was different. He said he'd never felt this way. He told me you'd understand if you really loved me. He promised, he promised, he promised. And then the truth slipped out fully, raw and unfiltered. I thought if things didn't work out with you, I'd have him. I didn't think I'd lose both. There it was. Not love, not regret, not heartbreak, just fear of losing options. She wasn't grieving me. She was grieving her safety net. Her voice softened, trembling. I didn't want to hurt you. I just wanted to know I wouldn't end up alone. I zipped my suitcase closed. You weren't alone, I said quietly. You just didn't value what you had. She collapsed to the floor. Please, don't leave me. I will do anything. I'll cut him off. I'll block everyone. I'll go to therapy. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She froze. We both looked at it. Ethan, we need to talk. My wife knows everything. Please don't say anything stupid. The irony was almost poetic. Her last lifeline was severing itself in real time. I picked up the suitcase and walked toward the door. She grabbed my arm, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. I swear, I'll make it up to you. I love you. I love you. I gently removed her hand. You love the version of me who didn't know, I said softly. I'm not that man anymore. I walked out. She screamed after me, a raw, breaking sound that echoed in the hallway. But I didn't look back. Because when trust dies, love doesn't survive it. Not really. Aftermath. I moved into a temporary apartment downtown. A small studio with ugly carpeting and no personality. But it felt like oxygen. Rachel tried calling, texting, emailing, then apologizing, then begging, then blaming, then confessing, then threatening to ruin her life, then back to begging. I didn't respond. Her sister eventually texted me. Lena, thank you for leaving. She needs to hit rock bottom to rebuild. I'm sorry it happened this way. I appreciated that. A week later, I got one final message from Rachel. No excuses. No pleading. Just, I understand why you left. I'm sorry. I hope you heal faster than I will. I didn't reply. What happened to Ethan? I didn't contact his wife again. But Lena later told me. She filed for divorce. She kept the kids. She exposed his hotel records to his employer. He lost his position. And Rachel? She finally realized she wasn't special. She was one slot on a rotation. Her world didn't collapse because of me. It collapsed because she built it on lies someone else was telling her. What happened to me? I didn't date for a while. Didn't trust immediately. didn't pretend to be fine. I focused on rebuilding, on understanding the parts of myself that tolerated less than I deserved, on becoming a man who doesn't lose himself while trying to hold someone else together. Months later, I started seeing someone new. Someone who doesn't need secrecy to feel alive. Someone who values loyalty without turning it into leverage. Someone who doesn't carry a black dress in a garment bag reserved for someone else's hotel room. And for the first time in years, I feel something simple. Peace. Not victory. Not revenge. Just peace. The kind that comes when you walk away from a life built on lies. And finally start building a life that's yours.